Greetings and welcome. Today we delve into a tale of epic proportions, a story etched in the annals of history and faith. This is the story of Moses, a man chosen by God, destined to lead his people to freedom. His name echoes through millennia, a symbol of unwavering faith and courageous leadership. Moses' journey is one of hardship, miracles, and ultimately of profound sacrifice. He stood as a beacon of hope for the Israelites, enslaved in Egypt, yearning for a land promised to them by God. His life, from his miraculous birth to his solitary death, is a testament to the enduring power of faith and the weight of responsibility. Let us begin. Imagine, if you will, the plight of the Israelites. Enslaved in Egypt, they toiled under the Pharaoh's cruel reign, their spirits crushed, their hope dwindling. It was in this desperate hour that God called upon Moses, a shepherd tending his flock, an unlikely hero thrust onto the world stage. "Lead my people out of Egypt," God commanded, "into a land flowing with milk and honey." Armed with God's power and unwavering faith, he confronted Pharaoh, demanding the release of his people. Plagues ravaged Egypt, each one a testament to God's might and Moses' unwavering obedience. The parting of the Red Sea allowed the Israelites to escape their captors and embark on their journey to freedom. He had answered God's call, faced seemingly insurmountable odds, and delivered his people from bondage. Little did he know, the path to the Promised Land held a bitter truth, a twist of fate that would forever shape his legacy. Leading a people is no simple task, and Moses, chosen by God, carried the weight of expectations on his shoulders. He became the conduit between God and the Israelites, delivering laws, settling disputes, and providing guidance in their moments of doubt. He climbed Mount Sinai and returned carrying the 10 Commandments, the very foundation of their covenant with God. But the Israelites, freed from slavery, were a fickle bunch. They grumbled, complained, and at times even questioned Moses' leadership and God's plan. Yet through it all, Moses remained their steadfast leader, pleading with God on their behalf. A fateful encounter at the waters of Meribah would seal his destiny, forever altering his path and teaching us a profound lesson about the complexities of faith, obedience, and the consequences of human action. Before the plagues, before the parting of the Red Sea, before the 10 Commandments, Moses was but a babe, facing a perilous fate. Born into a time when Pharaoh decreed that all newborn Hebrew boys be cast into the Nile. Moses' mother, desperate to save her child, placed him in a basket, entrusting his fate to the river's currents. The basket carrying baby Moses was discovered by Pharaoh's own daughter, who took him in as her own. Raised in the lap of luxury, amidst the splendor of the Egyptian court, Moses' true heritage remained a secret. A confrontation with an Egyptian overseer would awaken a sense of justice within him, forcing him to choose between the life he knew and the destiny that awaited. Fleeing Egypt after his act of defiance, Moses sought refuge in the land of Midian. He became a shepherd, a humble life, tending flocks under the vast desert sky. But God had other plans. A burning bush, consumed by flames, yet miraculously unconsumed, caught his attention. As he approached, a voice boomed from the fire, charging him with a momentous task to return to Egypt, confront Pharaoh, and lead the Israelites to freedom. Moses, filled with doubt and fear, initially resisted. "Who am I," he asked God, "that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" But God reassured him, promising strength, guidance, and the power to perform miracles. Armed with God's promise and a staff that would become a symbol of divine power, Moses embarked on a journey back to the land of his birth. He was no longer a simple shepherd, but a messenger of God, chosen to confront tyranny and lead his people to the Promised Land. Returning to Egypt, Moses, accompanied by his brother Aaron, stood before Pharaoh, a symbol of defiance against an empire built on the backs of slaves. They delivered God's message, "Let my people go," a demand that shook the very foundations of Pharaoh's power. But Pharaoh, consumed by pride and blinded by his own supposed divinity, refused to acknowledge God's authority. He scoffed at their demands, hardened his heart, and vowed to keep the Israelites firmly under his control. And so began a battle of wills, a clash between divine power and human arrogance. God, through Moses, unleashed a series of plagues upon Egypt, each one a testament to his might and a punishment for Pharaoh's stubbornness. Yet with each plague, Pharaoh's resolve seemed to harden. The stage was set for a final decisive confrontation, a showdown that would determine the fate of the Israelites and etch Moses' name forever in the annals of history. As the 10th and final plague, the death of the firstborn, swept through the land, Pharaoh's heart finally broke. Defeated and heartbroken, he relented, granting the Israelites their freedom. And so began the Exodus, a mass migration of biblical proportions. Led by Moses, the Israelites, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, left Egypt, carrying with them their meager possessions and the hope of a better future. The parting of the Red Sea allowed them safe passage, their pursuers swallowed by the returning waters. This awe-inspiring event solidified Moses' status as a divinely appointed leader. But their newfound freedom came at a cost. Years of hardship awaited them in the unforgiving wilderness. The Exodus, while a triumph over oppression, marked only the beginning of their journey. The vastness of the desert stretched before the Israelites, a seemingly endless expanse of sand and sky. Freed from the shackles of slavery, they now faced a new challenge: survival in a harsh and unforgiving land. Hunger gnawed at their bellies, thirst parched their throats, and doubt began to creep into their hearts. But God, in his infinite mercy, provided for their needs. Each morning, a strange sweet substance appeared on the ground, manna, a bread-like provision sent from heaven. It sustained them day after day, a tangible reminder of God's presence and his unwavering care for his chosen people. Despite the hardships, the Israelites pressed onward, their spirits buoyed by the memory of their miraculous escape and the hope of reaching the promised land. As the Israelites journeyed through the wilderness, God, through Moses, sought to establish order and define their relationship. He summoned Moses to the summit of Mount Sinai, a place of fire and smoke, where the very presence of God was palpable. There, amidst thunder and lightning, God delivered his laws, the 10 Commandments, etched onto stone tablets, a covenant between him and his chosen people. These commandments, a beacon of morality and justice, were not merely a set of rules, but a blueprint for a righteous life. Moses, descending from the mountain, his face aglow with divine light, presented these laws to the Israelites. These commandments would guide their steps, shape their laws, and influence their culture for generations to come. While Moses remained on Mount Sinai, the Israelites, restless and impatient, succumbed to their fears and doubts. Longing for a tangible symbol of their faith, they turned away from the unseen God and demanded that Aaron, Moses' brother, fashion an idol for them. Aaron, succumbing to their pressure, collected their gold ornaments and crafted a golden calf, a potent symbol of idolatry and a betrayal of their covenant with God. The Israelites, forgetting their miraculous deliverance from Egypt and the laws they had so recently received, reveled in their newfound idol. God, witnessing their transgression, was enraged by their unfaithfulness. Moses, descending from the mountain, confronted the Israelites and their idol, smashing the golden calf, a powerful symbol of their broken covenant. The incident with the golden calf marked a turning point in the Israelites' journey. Their unfaithfulness, their willingness to turn away from the God who had delivered them, carried severe consequences. God decreed that the generation that had witnessed the miracles in Egypt, but had then faltered in their faith, would not enter the promised land. They were destined to wander the wilderness for 40 years, their hopes and dreams dashed against the rocks of their own disobedience. This punishment served as a stark reminder of the seriousness of their covenant with God. Their 40-year sojourn in the wilderness became a time of testing, of purification, and of spiritual growth, preparing a new generation to inherit the promises God had made. The desert sun beat down relentlessly, baking the earth and parching the throats of the Israelites. Days turned into weeks, their journey a seemingly endless trek through a desolate and unforgiving landscape. Water, that most precious of commodities, became scarce, their supplies dwindling with each passing hour. Murmuring and discontent spread through the camp like wildfire. They had faced hunger before, had witnessed God's provision in the form of manna, but this thirst, this primal need, gnawed at their resolve. Their faith, tested time and again, threatened to evaporate like the last drops of water in their canteens. Moses, their leader, their intermediary with God, felt the weight of their despair. He too thirsted, his own body weary from the journey, his spirit burdened by the responsibility of leading a people who seemed determined to question every step, to doubt even the most miraculous of provisions. He climbed a rocky crag, a solitary figure silhouetted against the unforgiving sky, and raised his hands in supplication. "God," he cried out, his voice hoarse with desperation, "my people thirst, their faith dwindles. Provide for them, I beseech you, show them your mercy once more." The response, when it came, was swift and dramatic. A rumble shook the earth, silencing the complaints and turning fear-filled whispers into awestruck silence. Before their very eyes, a seemingly solid rock face split open, a gaping maw revealing a hidden spring. Water, clear and cool, gushed forth, a torrent of life-giving liquid cascading down the rock face, forming a pool at its base. Cheers erupted, a cacophony of relief and joy replacing the earlier sounds of despair. A fate-sealed denial at the doorstep. The weight of those words hit Moses with the force of a physical blow. He had acted in anger, allowing his doubts to cloud his judgment. He failed to uphold the sanctity of his role. God declared, "You will not bring this community into the land I have given them." The promised land would forever remain out of reach for Moses. His punishment highlighted the gravity of his transgression. The weight of disobedience, the echo through time. Moses, his heart heavy with the knowledge of his fate, continued to lead the Israelites, his faith in God unwavering even in the face of his own personal loss. He understood the importance of obedience, the delicate balance between human agency and divine will. His story, passed down through generations, serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most devout, the most chosen, are not exempt from the consequences of their actions. It highlights the importance of humility, of recognizing our own fallibility, and of approaching each encounter with the divine with reverence and awe. Moses' denial of entry into the Promised Land is not a story of failure, but rather a testament to the complexities of faith, the enduring power of forgiveness, and the profound impact of our choices on both our own lives and the lives of those around us. It is a story that resonates through time, reminding us that the journey, with all its twists and turns, its triumphs and its heartbreaks, is ultimately about drawing closer to the divine, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. The price of leadership. Imagine carrying the weight of an entire nation on your shoulders. Moses was the conduit between God and humanity. He led his people through trials, his faith tested at every turn. He stood up to Pharaoh, witnessed plagues, parted the Red Sea, and received the 10 Commandments. Yet one moment of doubt cost him dearly. Denied entry into the Promised Land, a harsh but crucial lesson. True leadership demands unwavering faith and humility. It's about service and sacrifice, putting others before yourself. The Promised Land, a symbol of hope and fulfillment, remained tantalizingly out of reach for Moses. He would gaze upon it from afar, his heart heavy with longing, knowing that his feet would never tread upon its soil. It was a bitter pill to swallow, a stark reminder of his transgression. But his legacy, far from being tarnished by this denial, is enhanced by it. It becomes a story not just about obedience and divine justice, but also about acceptance, about finding peace even in the face of unfulfilled desires. Moses' example teaches us that sometimes the greatest lessons are learned not through victory, but through setbacks, through moments when our faith is tested and our resolve is shaken. It is in these crucibles of adversity that we discover our true strength, our capacity for growth, and our unwavering commitment to the path we are meant to walk. His story reminds us that even when we stumble, even when we fall short of our own expectations, there is always an opportunity for redemption, for growth, for finding meaning and purpose in the midst of disappointment. It is tempting to judge Moses, to question his faith, to wonder how he, of all people, could have succumbed to doubt. But to do so is to misunderstand the nature of faith itself. Faith is not about blind obedience, about never questioning, never doubting. True faith, the kind that endures through trials and tribulations, requires moments of wrestling with God, of grappling with difficult emotions, of seeking understanding amidst uncertainty. It is in these moments of vulnerability, of acknowledging our own human frailty, that we draw closer to the divine. God's forgiveness, though perhaps not always evident in the immediate aftermath of our transgressions, is always available to those who seek it with a sincere heart. Moses, despite his punishment, remained a beacon of faith. His heart still turned towards God, his commitment to his people unwavering. His story reminds us that God's love is not conditional on our perfection, but rather on our willingness to acknowledge our imperfections, to seek forgiveness and to continue striving towards the light, even when the path ahead seems dark. While Moses never physically entered the Promised Land, his journey, with all its twists and turns, its triumphs and setbacks, points to a deeper truth, a truth that resonates even today. The Promised Land, in its purest form, is not a geographical location, but a state of being, a place of peace, fulfillment, and communion with the divine. It is a place we carry within ourselves, a destination we strive towards with each step we take on our own spiritual journeys. Moses' life, though ending on the cusp of the physical Promised Land, serves as a reminder that the true journey is not about reaching a specific destination, but about the transformation that occurs along the way. It is about the lessons learned, the challenges overcome, and the unwavering faith that guides our steps. His story encourages us to look inward, to cultivate our own inner promised lands, places of peace, purpose, and unwavering connection to the divine, no matter where our physical journeys may lead. Moses' journey, though etched in the annals of ancient history, holds remarkable relevance for us even today. We may not face plagues or part seas, but we encounter our own wildernesses, our own moments of doubt, our own tests of faith. Like the Israelites yearning for the Promised Land, we too seek fulfillment, purpose, and a sense of belonging. We navigate a world awash in distractions, temptations, and challenges that can easily lead us astray from our own personal promised lands. Moses' story reminds us that the path to fulfillment is rarely straightforward. There will be setbacks, moments of despair, and the temptation to abandon our faith, our values, and our dreams. But it is in these moments of adversity, when our resolve is tested, that we discover our true strength, our capacity for resilience, and our unwavering commitment to the path we are meant to walk. Just as Moses led his people through the wilderness, we too must find the courage to lead ourselves, to trust in a power greater than ourselves, and to never lose sight of the hope that sustains us, even when the journey seems long and arduous. The Promised Land, that alluring destination that beckoned the Israelites onward, represents something universal, something that transcends time, culture, and even religious belief. It speaks to our innate desire for a better tomorrow, a place of peace, fulfillment, and connection to something greater than ourselves. While we may not all have a physical promised land awaiting us, we each carry within us the potential for our own personal promised lands. These are not geographical locations, but states of being, cultivated through acts of kindness, moments of gratitude, and the unwavering pursuit of our passions and purpose. Moses' story, though ending on the precipice of the physical promised land, reminds us that the true journey is not about reaching a specific destination, but about the transformation that occurs along the way. It is about the lessons learned, the challenges overcome, the relationships forged, and the unwavering faith that guides our steps. So as you navigate the complexities of your own life, remember the lessons of Moses, embrace the challenges that come your way, and never stop seeking your own promised land, that place of peace, fulfillment, and enduring joy that resides within you. God bless you all. And I see you in the next video. Bye.